So Manchester City 0, Arsenal 0. It was not the prettiest of games to watch. It wasn't the greatest advert for Premier League football you'll ever see. However, that is the first time Man City have not scored at the Etihad since 2021. Our centre-back who got man of the match today, albeit I would have given it to Declan Rice, my baller, he came out after the game and said, we shouldn't be happy with a point. Fair play, mentality. And we had mentality defensively because they were limited to one shot on target, which is the same as they managed at the Emirates. And defensively, we were sound. Attack-wise, Matty, and make sure you sub to Matty, Southern Guna. If I could squeeze it in the title, I will. We were limp. It was so frustrating. Odegaard, bruv. How many times have you got to touch the ball before passing it? And they had 29, peeling off the back every time. Put the ball through. Trossard, my baller, what are you doing? Jesus with the Gaza moment against Germany when Saka squared it. It's like, bruv, they were there, innit? They were there for the taking. What did you make of it, bro?
Yeah, man. First off, I'll say this. The title was not lost today. I know there's a lot of people. I just got off of
That's the title right there. The fan cam title right there.
Title was not lost today. I think that us not getting pounded shows some form of growth. That it also shows that the defense is, as I stated in my last fan cam before we went on break, the defense is rock solid this season.
Yeah.
Rock solid. When I say rock solid, I mean rock solid. I want people to understand that the mistakes that normally we would have given up last year, the accountability of most of the players across the back to make up for somebody else's mistake, it was on full display today.
And if you consider, sorry to cut you off, if you consider, right, we've conceded 24 goals in the league, yeah, right? 3 of them were against Luton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
later on
against Fulham.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we could have been sat here with like 18 against, 16 against right now if we had just been a little bit sharper and a few more points. Like, on another seat, we've been nearly flawless.
Yeah. Shout out to Sarcasm TV, by the way.
Yeah, big up flawless, bro.
Shout out to Sarcasm for that. I had to throw that in there. But you know, you look at this game today, and I just got through making this point on the panel. Just got through making this point. You know what was missing today? We were missing a clear-cut striker. And there has to be a discussion. The discussion needs to be happening now. I'm going to drop a Matt bomb on y'all. We paid $65 million for Havertz, and everybody was on his back. They were, hey, you know, we need production, you know, da. We were all on his back. There's another man in the room that we paid $50 million for.
He resurrected today, did he, mate?
No, he didn't. No stone. No stone was rolled back today. No stone was rolled back today. Jesus needs to be moved on. I mentioned this in a couple of fan cams back. The attack was moving better. It saw it at the end of the game. The attack just moves better when he is not in the team. That opportunity there that was on the plate at the back post, you have to score that. And I'm going to put something else in perspective. When we play Bayern Munich, you have to take that opportunity. Yep. Those opportunities, you have to score that. You have to. This is elite level football. This man ain't just somebody just showed up. He's in the league this first 2 or 3 years. He's been in the league for years. He knows the league. The man has to score that goal. Odegaard today, Lee. You know, he's supposed to be the captain of the vessel. I'm looking at him receive the ball. Havertz is clean on goal. He splits the defender. He's in. We're probably talking about a win. These are the fine margins that these.
Let's not forget when he ducked out of a 70-30 tackle.
You know, that right there. You know, lay your body on the line for the team. Rice does it all the time. You have to have the mentality of winners coming down the street. Some of these players have to have the mentality. There are a few that I see it. There's a few that have the mentality. But there's some that just, they crack under pressure. They're starting to crack. You just look around, they're not comfortable. You know, I expect Kivior to have a rough go at it because he's thrown into the fire. So I expect him to kind of mess up here or there. But when you look at players like Jesus, Havertz, any Trossard today, don't even pass. They'll be all clean through. All you had to do is just left foot it right over there to him.
Didn't even need to take a touch. The touch was the pass.
These are fine margins that they have to fix because we're getting ready to go into the thick of it. The title begins this week, Wednesday. The week after this, it's going to come rapid, fast, and in a hurry. And they have to be locked in, Lee. And the manager does not need to go back to what we saw today with Jesus. That's over. He needs to, from now on, he's coming off the bench for the rest of the year. I'm sorry. He's coming off the bench for the rest of the year for me. I'll work my way backwards. I'll go Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus, and Ketty. That's how it's going to have to be for the rest of the year. Because the latter two have shown me enough to know that I cannot depend on them in critical situations. We know we can depend on Trossard. He might screw it up every once in a while, but we know that he tends to pop up. Havertz has made a habit of showing up at crazy times this year. And then, Martinelli is always good to keep a defense honest, which is part of the problem why we had Raya was having problems putting the ball out of the back. We had nothing up top that would at least make them respect what was up there.
Yes,
These
fact.
were the problems today, Lee. These were the problems. But they survived all of that. 0-0, you got a point. And for me, that City is over. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad to see the back of that team.
All the talk, all the hype, all the stats, all the Rodri this, unbeaten at home this, and all of this and that.
Tilted and ripped and all that. For me, Gunner, the most important games of this campaign will come down to Aston Villa, will come down to Chelsea, will come down to Spurs, will come down to United, will come down to Wolves. Those are 5. That is 3 times 5 is 50. That's mega points on the board right there. All that talked a couple years ago, points on the board. Those are major points on the board. And we have to get these points against Luton this week. We can't have another display of what we saw earlier this year. Last minute winner celebrating, all that. We have to
go and slap them, man. Go and slap them.
Take them to the sword.
Go and slap that little hippie, man. David Guest lookalike, bruv, down at Brighton.
For me, and I made this point, for me personally, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like this. The more pressure we put on Liverpool, they'll crack. You have to keep the pressure on Liverpool. I would rather, let me put it this way. I would rather be in second place and pip them on the last 2 games of the season, and over the top.
Because you know what? I make you right with that, yeah? And I'll tell you why. They had one hand on the title 2 years ago.
There you go.
2-0 down at the Etihad, bruv. Yeah? Their fans were getting all gassed. We've done it, la. We've done it, mates. Hey, I don't do enough bots or maybes. Big up Hammers, right? Then all of a sudden, Man City went 3 goals in 7 minutes. Give us our title, bro. How many times did they come 1 point behind? Twice. Record 99 points and 97 points. You didn't win the title, bro. They will have PTSD. Klopp will be fuming.
History lesson, bro. 89. What do we do in 89? History lesson. Slipping on banana peels. I mean, bro.
Big up John Barnes. Yeah, big up John Barnes, man. Kevin Richardson nicked the ball back.
They have a tendency. If they're way ahead, then they'll probably cruise. But most likely, if they're just a point or 2 in front, they start to kind of look over their shoulder a little bit. And that's
the reason they won the league. They proved it. They pissed it.
Yeah, you haven't seen Liverpool recently. Had be a 1 point or 2 point lead, and they just go to the title. If they do that, it is. But right now, I'm saying historically, from what I've seen,
maybe a couple of weeks back, I think the beginning of this month, I think they were 5 points clear.
Yeah,
then they were second, and now they're back 2 points clear.
League.
Yeah, so fair play. They've come back this time, but at the same time, I look at their fixtures and I think, right, cool, you got the easiest run, right? But you also Europa League, so I think you could. It's easier than Champions League. You're not playing Real Madrid. You're playing fucking Atalanta, bruv.
Lee, they were scuffling against Sheffield United before we went on break.
Mate, they were scuffling at home against Fulham.
This is why
in the last minute 4-3.
What we did today.
Look at Darwin Núñez with the header the other week.
This is why I said for me, and for those who are going to holler, well, they got Salah. Salah had 11 shots on goal today. 11 shots. I think that was the number I saw. Either 12 or 11 shots on goal.
But today.
Yeah, today.
He was awful.
11 shots on goal today.
He was awful. And I said it on my watch along for that game in the first half after he'd missed about 5 or 6. I said, no doubt it will stink his way to a goal and all is forgotten. And that's what he's done in his whole career at Liverpool, bro. But that's because they create enough chances for him. Yeah?
Bingo.
He's not clinical. He just gets volume.
Same as Sterling. Well, we've got
Sterling, but
we've got to. Arsenal has to win their games. That run we just went on, we got to go on another one of those runs. We got to go on another. We got to crank it up against Luton Town. We need to be 5, 6, 7. We need to be going to the sword. Bang, 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 bang. Get the confidence back up and start rolling. We got to get this train rolling. Because if we get the train rolling, we can apply some pressure. And I'll say this because folks are going to Bayern. It's already Bayern. If we beat Bayern, I used this analogy just a second ago. I bring it over here too. It's just like when you was a kid, Lee, and your mom and your dad said they was gonna whoop your ass. What did you do? You go find an extra pair of pants. You put on some extra underwear. You double pants.
A hardback book down the pants.
Or, something to take the cushion off. If we beat Bayern Munich, that's just double padding. That's just okay, cool. That's just the extra opportunity that we got. But for me, right now, this title is the priority.
I agree. Listen, on that bombshell,
for me, the title is the priority.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think then bin off a load of players in the summer. Yeah, go and get some squad players, not squad players, but players that can challenge the first team. Like Pep brought fucking Grealish off the bench, mate. Like, come on.
And took Foden off and brought in Grealish.
Yeah, took off Foden and who else did he take off? Kovacic. Like, come on, man. This is the level we need. We need 5 players in the summer. But listen, we are going to wrap this up, guys. I'm live in 9 minutes. I need to get player ratings done, so I'm definitely late for my Real Madrid watch along. Matty, always love, bro. Happy Easter to you and your family. And listen, we're still there or thereabouts, bro. We're 2 points behind. In 2 games' time, we could be top again. It's going to go topsy-turvy, man.
You don't win on Wednesday, fellas. Just keep it moving. 1 game at a time. Uno at a time.
Bring on Luton. Yeah, and Jesus wasn't resurrected today.
En la basura.
Ala mierda, hijo de puta.
Yogi no licho.